It is 8:10 a.m. It is April 12th. Hope everybody had a good trading day yesterday and wild market that we're in with the VIX, holding above 15. It's been nice moves, very volatile. I had a good day, so could have had more, but that's how trading goes. Um, Markets are down a little bit today. We actually went down to the midpoint of yesterday's range. Bounced a little now. We're kind of in between the week to day VWAP and the monthly VWAP, and they're very flat. So it just tells you what we've been doing lately in the market is a whole lot of nothing. We're not moving anywhere. So regardless of the big swing, right? That's how you have to look at it. We'll go into that in a little bit. Without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, anchored VWAPs, and the most traded price of the rolling year, the current year, the rolling month, and the rolling week and the preceding day. That all just helps me find out where everybody is at, right? You want to be on the side of strength, regardless if that's bears, bulls, doesn't matter. That's how you want to do it. And of course, once those things are mapped out, that's how I get my scenarios. And then the market opens, and then there's new analysis, right? You got ticks, you got internals, you got the breadth, all this stuff that I look at, right? And then that makes me be able to put risk on or not, right? So that's my story. Subscribe, set an alert if you haven't already. Okay. Always give me a thumbs up if you like my content, and you can always follow me at X at Gonzo719. Okay. All right, let's get right into this. All right. Let's get right into the watch list. Now, gold is a beast. Silver's starting to match that now, right? I'm so glad that I am in gold. I did take a couple pieces off because I don't know when that's going. Is it going for 3,000? I hope so. But the VIX is elevated. It's up 3.42%. It's at 15.42. Silver's up 3%. It's almost at $30. Gold over 2,400 at 2,410. That's up 1.57%. Crude getting some love today, up 1.49%. Okay, I just saw that they shortened their demand or something like that by 124,000 barrels. Bitcoin's up 0.84. Dollar is up 0.59. Now, see, that's interesting, right? That's how you know gold is on its own track. Dollar's up almost 0.6%, 0.60%, right? And the crude and silver are rocketing. There's a lot of reasons why they feel gold. I mean, the dollar is going to get destroyed eventually. We're in too much debt. All this stuff that doesn't really matter to me, but that's what they're saying. All right, and central banks are buying it, especially China. 30-year bonds being bought. Okay, I should send the 10-year a little lower. All right, Ether's down up 0.38. 10-year yield will report at 820. The Dow's down 0.20. Russell down 0.20. ES down 0.27. Nasdaq's down 0.39. Okay. Moving on to the Max 7 Plus. We have Netflix. Netflix up 0.57. Followed by Amazon up 0.16. That's really the only leaders. Okay, we got some laggards. I saw Tesla got a price cut. AMD, okay, AMD and Intel, they're being affected because China is phasing out foreign chips by 2027. So that's negatively affecting semis, okay? So AMD's down 1.59. It was down 2% earlier, over. Bob is down 1.91. JP Morgan reported earnings, and they missed, I believe, on the year's revenue, something like that. Doesn't matter. They're down 2.44%, okay? Let's go to the top sector stocks. All right. Exxon, Eli Lilly, Chevron, United Healthcare. Healthcare stocks getting beaten down as of late. United Healthcare is at 441 at a very key support level. I was in that. I did own that, but I took profit around 530 or something like that. And I'll be looking to probably get back in that. I have CVS2 that kind of took a dump. Probably going to add to that position, but we'll have to see. Same with Johnson& Johnson. All right, looking mighty tasty now. Okay, so I might add to that position as well. Again, not financial advice. This is just my own portfolio. All right, laggards here. Yeah, Salesforce, Morgan Stanley, and we got Qualcomm. Qualcomm semis. All right, so that's down 0.79. Let's look at the swings. We got BlackRock. They reported earnings. They're up 2.45%. Oh boy, this hurts a little bit. The GDXJ and this is gold miners. I was in this. I think I owned it at like $30, and I took it off with a small profit because it was just so wild. It wasn't following gold. Now it's starting to liven up. It still might even be, I think all-time highs is at 89 or something like that. So it's still a decent deal. Again, not a financial advisor. Do not take my advice. This is just strictly, I'm not in it. I'm just saying, okay. Citibank reported earnings as well. They're up 1.88. Okay. That's the leaders this morning. Okay. Gold, of course, GLD up 0.78. TLT is up 0.69. Okay. Let's look at the laggards. Okay. Laggards. Arista Networks, I believe, got a downgrade to a sell, actually. Intel, that's the American, China phasing out American chips. SoundHound's down, that keeps dropping. Team, that went up yesterday, but it's down this morning. All right, AbbVie. Okay, that's what we're looking at today. All right, let's move back to the top sector. Now let's go to sectors. Energy's leading the pack. Okay, energy's leading the pack, followed by utilities. All right, then we got laggards. We got financials, communications, technology, and semis. Okay, semis is the laggard. Now, a lot of times, those semis, when they're laggards like that, seem to get bought up. So that's interesting, right? So if this was the market open and you had semis, technology, communications, financials weak, I'm going to be looking probably to short something. But again, this is not the market open. So anyway, let's move on. We got economic calendar. We got some earnings that we can look at. We got some news, and we'll get into that. I already talked about some of the news, so maybe I don't have to go that deep into some of that news. Let's look at the calendar for today. Okay. All right. So today we have nothing much at 8:30. Export import, that doesn't really move the market. However, 10 a.m. you got Michigan Consumer with a bunch of this other Michigan stuff. All right. 5-year inflation expectations, all this stuff, right? That is a market mover. I'm going to stay away from entering. So if I enter something, I'd like to enter around 940 something. And then if I don't have a lot of excursion in my trade, I'll probably cut it at 10 a.m. But mainly, I'll look at the market around 10:05, 10:10, let the noise settle out a little bit. Okay, then we got Fed Bostic speaking at 2:30. I won't be trading probably 2:30, but at 3:30 Fed Daily, so I'm not really going to be trading most likely at that time. I don't really have an edge later in the day, but that's what's going on. Okay, now here's that China news. Okay, basically just says China intensifying efforts to reduce its reliance on foreign technology by aiming to eliminate American chip makers from its telecom infrastructure by 2027. Okay, that is explaining that. The juice, here, it says IEA cuts 2024 global oil demand growth estimated by 130 barrels per day. Now, crude, I just got that it hit a supply zone, so crude's bouncing back up. Okay, that was kind of balancing. It was kind of balancing. Okay, now let's look at some upgrades and downgrades. Let's see if this list got populated more. So we got upgrades, DocuSign, downgrades, Arista Networks. Let's see what else. Dick's Sporting Goods was initiated a hold. That's really much to do there. Let's just see if this list has been updated. If it hasn't, it hasn't. Oh, yeah, we do. We do have an update. Okay. Let's go to upgrades. Let's see here. I'm only going to note stocks that you would know. DocuSign upgraded, right? We know that already. Constellation Brands target raised to 315. Netflix, there you go. There's where Netflix is up a little bit. Target raised from 550 to 600. Also, target raised from 600 to 700. Microsoft, target raised 455 to 465. Marathon Petroleum from 201 to 202. Coinbase, target raised 84 to 145. It's so funny when it's like way above that. Tesla, target lowered. Here you go, 196 to 180. Team, that's Atlassian, right? 280, target was lowered. Starbucks, target lowered again, 102 to 195. Starbucks lowered again, 120 to 115. All right, NetEase, 135 to 120. Let's see, Intel, target lowered, 50 to 44. All right, like I said, I'm on the ASML. Okay, target lowered. Let's see, anything else here to note? There's a lot of reiterated. I don't care about reiterated. Initiated. Let's see that. Initiated. For solar, initiated a buy. And Dick's Sporting Goods initiated a hold. Chipotle equal weight. Let's see here. Cheesecake Factory overweight. And that's it. That's all I want to go over for that. Okay, moving on. Let's look at this. I don't think there's anything in here really. BlackRock, we already know. JP Morgan, all right, we already know this stuff. Ford Motor, you know what? I'm not gonna go over that. There's nothing that I didn't really go over. That's not notable, right? Let's go over to earnings for today that we already had. All right. Let's see. JP Morgan reported, Wells Fargo reported, BlackRock, Citibank. So those are financials, right? We all know what happened with those. So we talked about that already. All right, now we can move on to the daily charts now. Let's do that. And there's just a couple telltale signs. Technical analysis. You don't have to be a guru to notice, but there's certain things that just stand out to me. Just to let you guys know, there's a couple things. Okay, so here's the daily charts. Okay, and there's a couple things you can look at, right? All right, let's just look at this market. All right, look at the 20-day. Look at the 9 EMA, right? What are they doing? They're flat. That's a range-bound market, right? You see how we're just going up, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Really around this 518 price. Okay, so your moving averages tell you, what are we doing? We're not trending. We're going sideways. Okay, even though in your brain, if someone can think, oh my God, we just reversed yesterday, we just had a monster day, right? Well, what did we do? We closed right at the 20-day simple moving average. Okay, where are we at now? 516.32. We are right in the middle, basically, of yesterday's range. Okay, right in the middle. What did we do yesterday? We had a little double bottom here in a daily, right? Look, you could not take out 512 and hold it, and then we just ripped. Whoop. Okay, that's what we're looking at today. So if price is in the middle, which is not a good edge, that's not a good edge for me. So I need to see that do something for me to want to put risk on. Okay, maybe I can change it when I look at the market profile to do a scenario, but that's what I'm seeing. Okay, now we look at the Qs. Okay, and let's look at the Qs together. Now look at the moving averages. Flat. Okay, a bunch of things are going to tell you that. Moving averages, most traded price, VWAPs for the week and for the month. Okay, all those things will tell you, hey, look for the edges, fade edges, right? The moving averages are telling you we're moving sideways. Okay, now in the NASDAQ, what did we do? We came up to this trend line. Boom, close kind of at it, right? Big day, big reversal in the NASDAQ, right? So we pushed through this midsection here, this range, went to the top of the range. Back, not quite to this highs, but to this big candle, right? Yesterday, what did we do? This 50-day moving average has been support. We tried to go. We couldn't even go back to the previous day's lows, right? Not even by last week's lows. Okay, where are we at now? We are at 443.40. 443.40 is right here. This is like probably, I just call it the middle of the range. Okay, you can see what we did yesterday. Took out all these shorts right here. Okay, boom. I had a long in this. I was long down here, 438.90, I think. Right. My style is more of a reversal style. where my risk is at the low today most times. So I think I got out around 441 and change, where I was like, okay, we just hit the most traded price in the monthly VWAP, and then it did kind of move sideways for a little bit, and I was like, all right, I moved my stop up and had a nice 150% plus winner, but it gave a lot more. So after now analyzing it, I probably could have took half off, and then I could have added back, and that would have been a monster, right? But that's just trading. You have to learn, right? You have to learn. So again, we're in the middle of this. There's not a lot of edge there. Okay, not a lot of edge there. Right? Trading's not a game of you just throw it out there. You got to have some edge and have a plan of what you want to see, right? You have to have some type of plan. All right. So now let's do this, because I don't really do this, but I think I'm going to start doing this. So let's just look at the futures. Okay, so ES, just so we can analyze this, because I don't really do this with futures, but let's just start doing it. Okay, let's just start doing it, because I think it's very helpful. Okay, so this is the futures. Okay, so we can see the market moving now, right? I think this is good to do, just because we bounced off the 50-day moving average in futures. Okay, in the ES. Okay, this is the back adjusted contract, not the continuous contract. You have to put the M24 up there, okay, because that's the way I look at it. All right, so you can see flat moving averages, weekly lows last week. We hit the 50-day moving average. See that? In futures. That's why it's important to have these things on your chart. It's very important. Okay. Now, if we look at the Nasdaq, okay, look at the Nasdaq. Okay, this is last month's highs, last month's lows. We're inside last month. Okay, this is last week's lows, right? This is last week's highs. See what I mean? Look at this range. Look at this range. Like, if you want to put a range on this thing, right here, that's what we're doing. Market doesn't know what it wants. Okay, and look where we are right now. Price is right here, in the middle of the range. You're in the middle of the muddle. Okay, so that's why when you have a big move like that yesterday, well, what did we really do? And look where we're at now. Very important to realize those things. Okay, very, very important. Let's look at the triple-headed monster. Let's do that. Now we know they updated this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. They updated it back with the old data. Look at that big move. We're holding here. This is very interesting. You look to the left, you got resistance at 4.7 yield. Wow, can it make it back up there? Right? These yields are rising. Gold is rising. The dollar is rising. So it's a very interesting market. Okay. Now the VIX, fear. We're pushing back up, right? We dropped a little bit, so we're holding 15, pushing back up. Can we go above 16? I would make it more volatile. Remember, 16 VIX is a 1% move in the S&P 500. Expected move. Okay, now remember, VIX is 30 days out of fear. It's fear 30 days out. Okay, dollar. The dollar is rising. Look at that. Look at that move in the dollar. And gold is shooting up. Right? That usually doesn't happen. Right? Commodities are going up. Oil is going up. Dollar is going up. Usually a weak dollar is good for commodities. So like you have dollar moving up, yields going higher. The VIX is finally above 16, and the market did what? Right? So there's some fighting forces here. Right? Right now, the bond market's calling the market's bluff. So is the dollar. Okay. So just giving you some insight about that stuff. All right. Now we can go in and look at structure. All right. Structure. This is how I map out my day. Right here. I do it live. I don't even look at it before. I don't even analyze it before. I do it live with you guys. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Let's do that. Market profile, volume profile. All right, and we'll look exactly what we have going on here. Okay. Now, not sure who's with me or if anybody's with me, and it doesn't matter if anybody's with me because this serves me, right? So this serves me, my plan, right? But hopefully somebody can get something out of this, right? Um, but it definitely serves me. So let's look at this together. All right. So structure wise, okay, let's look at it. Value area is the light blue. That's 70% of the trade of the last week. We have not a lot of excess to the top of this range, right? Two distributions. We got one here and we got one here. And we got a little excess at the bottom. Okay, so basically a double distribution in the last week, right? Now, this level here is the most traded price of the year. That level's 52.06. Okay, this level is the most traded price of yesterday, of this week, the rolling week, and the rolling month. I just want to show something, okay? This overnight session is in between these two big levels, okay? So, we could do ping pong. Boom, 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 until this market decides what it wants to do. Now, ultimate balance was when you have here most traded price of the month and most traded price of the week, right? So that means whenever you move away from this level, whenever you move away, big moves happen. Okay? So if we do that, big move's gonna happen. If we come back over here, big move's gonna happen. Okay? That's why I loved having these on my chart, right? They're right there. I know they're there, right? Okay. So yesterday was a little tricky. So the SPY was relatively weak compared to the NASDAQ yesterday. So I was open. I actually missed my short in the NASDAQ. I wanted to short the NASDAQ, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But I decided I was then going to wait for the Qs. Okay, I was going to wait for the Qs and the SPY to hit their gamma flip points yesterday. And that's what I waited for. Then it went long, and then it was a nice, beautiful long, right? But the short was the play off the beginning. So for the Qs, okay? So look at the monthly VWAP. I just want to show you that. It's flat. That means for the month, nobody's really winning. Okay, flat VWAPs tell you all you need to know. Okay, right now, sellers are in control for the month and for the week. We're below it. But in reality, we're in between two big levels. Okay, so this is yesterday's highs, this is yesterday's lows. This is the overnight high, this is the overnight low. We're in the middle of yesterday's session. And where's price? Right at the actual middle of yesterday's session. Worst place you could be. That's the worst place you could be. Right? Because it's not a lot of edge there. Right? You have sellers that could push the price down. You have buyers that push the price up. You become like in the middle of the muddle. Okay? And that doesn't mean you can't have a plan. Right? Doesn't mean you can't have a plan. Okay, so yeah, you could see very bullish imbalance on this overnight. Look at all, this is why the market fell so easily. Look at all that concentration, all that volume at the top of this in the overnight, right? And then what happened when all those longs are piling in? Boom. That's why the market moved down, right? That's the beauty of volume profile. You don't see that with a candlestick, okay? And we could break out the session just to show you. Look what happened. Boom. Right? Boom. Okay. All right. So let's get into some scenarios here. All right. Let's get into some scenarios. All right. Now we have a lot of single prints here. Well, I'm sorry. NASDAQ has more. Okay. But single prints right here. Right. So what are we going to look at here? What scenarios, right? Well, we have two big levels, right? We have two big levels. So, right off the bat, all right, I'm going to look at this just to make sure here, right? So we know most trader price of the month of the week here, most trader price of the year here, demand zone here, supply zone here. I think you get my drift. Okay, so if I'm going to be long, okay, I want to see this. Now, this is another feather in the cap for a little bit of a long. Now, look, this is the amount of long activity to all this short. I would love the market, okay, to push down in number one would be the most traded price, the price of the year. If you can hold that, that could be a good long. Where? Right to this big level. If you go above that and hold it, well, can we go higher? Certainly. It will be a big move too. Okay. Now, I want to make something clear. If we move past this most traded price of the year and we have demand, I'm kind of at the bottom of this balance area. Okay. You could definitely pop out of there, do one of these, and go up as well. Okay. What would make me big orders hitting the tape? Big orders hitting the tape. Woo. Now that's the long scenarios. Okay. Short scenarios. Short scenarios. Now I'm not a fan of one of them I'm going to show you, but it's real. So what I'd like to see, market's catching a bid. That's 8:30. After 8:30, I mean, I don't know what just happened. Doesn't really matter. What I would like to see if I want to be short, okay, I'd like to see a nice push, work itself up into the supply, could reject, and then you could go here, right? If you break through that, hold, then you got this demand, you got 50-day moving average and futures here, okay? Can you break through that? Certainly, but I'm not sure if that's in the cards. You have to put that there though, okay? Another scenario is push up, break this supply, break this huge level, but then guess what? You don't find acceptance above it. You whip back under it, hold lower highs, then you can make your move to here and then possibly lower. Okay. The next thing is if this market does this, let's say it bounces in demand, but let's say it can't hold above this most traded price of the hold, that could send it down too. Okay, so that's the scenarios. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. You need to see some type of extreme level tested here, or up here. That's the way it works. Okay, you want people to take profits. You want to go where people are taking profits. Okay, so then you can go the other way. I mean, that's my philosophy. So that's my philosophy. Now, we're going to go to the NASDAQ. Let's look at that. We can look at my trade yesterday too. Okay, NASDAQ, relatively strong yesterday. Okay, let's look at structure. Very balanced, like I showed you in the Qs and in the futures, right? Look at this excess to the top. Look at the most traded price of the year. Excess to the bottom. This market's in balance, okay? Nasdaq's in balance, but we're above the most traded price of the year, the month. That is 182.80, okay? You're above that, it's bullish. You're above monthly VWAP. Okay, now it's flat because we're in balance, okay? It's flat because it's in balance. We're above a week-to-date VWAP. It's flat because we're in balance. Okay. Now, beauty of yesterday. Okay, beauty of yesterday. If we break it out, let's break out this profile here. And we can see we opened here. Now, this is what I was talking about. We opened here. We only went up to here, this huge level. Did what it was supposed to do. It was strong, but then it double topped here and then went down. Boom. Boom. Went down. And it held the previous day's most traded price and it hit demand. And just to let you know, this had a bullish imbalance to the profile in the morning, and it got very thin in volume. That's when I said, okay, it hit the flip point in Qs and the SPY, 513. And then I was like off to the races, and I took my like I said, I took my profits around here. Little did I know, this consolidation above this level is what I said pre-market would make the market rip, and you took out all these single prints from the past. Okay, still a beautiful trade. I can't regret it. Right, beautiful trade. Now you have a big trail of single prints. Big, 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 big trail. I mean, here, 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 a little guy here. So that's just emotional buying, right? Very thin volume. That's why, like, this is able to work too. These don't count as cleaned until the market opens, okay? So this is very thin volume. It's not very going to be very supportive. When it is supportive, that's bullish, okay? Now, let's look at what we got going here. This is the name of the game. You got monthly view up right at the level you wanted to. So you do this level is the bull bear line, okay? Bull bear line, 182.80, this box. Because even yesterday's most traded price is right here. 50-day moving average on futures is here. Most traded price of the year, most traded price of the month, most traded price of the week. On and on I go, right? That's all it's about. That is all it's about. Now, very important, okay? That level is very important because this is balance, okay? To understand this is balance. So we did break out. However, okay, this could be setting up for a look above and fail again. All right, so let's go into some scenarios and explain to what I'm saying here. All right, let's go to the bull. Okay, so this line right here, that's defense for the bulls. So what can we do? Now look at this, very feather in the hat for the bulls right here. Only this long to this much short. So we're close to 100% net short. Very, very good for the bulls. All right, clean that out, fine. But here's the test in this area. Can you crack it? If you come in it, right, I want to see how the market reacts to it. You could even do this. Whoop. Hold, hold, hold. Could be the move higher back again. Okay, that could be the move higher back again. Okay. You just have to see how the market pans out. However, that's one. Now, what you got to think about the context. Okay, think about the context. All right, we're pushing lower now. All right, it's good news for a bull. Okay, now I want to explain something. Balance. Once you come above balance, and we're not sticking up here, okay, I just want to show you something. We are long from here. We are long from here. We were long from up there, right? So just understand this. We have longs that have been paid all the way up to here. Okay? Okay, this is what's going on right now. You got to pay attention. We could not move higher right now. If this market comes down, right, pushes through this huge level and the 50-day moving average, all the stuff I told you about, and you do this, even if you do this, come back and hold under, we are going back to the bottom of this balance. That's just how it's going to work. That's how it works. That's how balance rules work. Now, if you break these lows, guess what happens? You take this range and add it to the bottom. That's how far we're going to move. That's a measured move. Okay. So, in a short way, you can look at two ways. We can bounce here, go up, and go, okay, here's supply. What do we do here? Do we go up or do you lower high, lower high? Then you could fall, right? If you fall, then you got to deal with this level and then you could fall, right? However, right now, the name of the game is this. If you crack this, and you got to be super patient with this. Let the bulls think they're going to just rip this dip up and they fail. You start holding, holding, and holding, and holding. And let's say the profile looks like this. Well, guess what? You're gonna go and visit the bracket low, and then you could see if we really fall. Remember, dollar's higher. Dollar is higher. Gold is higher. Yields are rising. 10-year yield. What is it at right now? It's down 1.73%. That's interesting. The yield's just tanked, right? Dollar is still up. This market is giving you mixed messages, okay? So, like I said, this levels everything. Now you're getting a little bounce, okay? So, like I said, this levels everything in the NASDAQ. You defend it, you go long. You lose it, you go short, okay? That is your NASDAQ scenarios, okay? And that is it for me. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Subscribe, set an alert. If you doubly enjoyed it, how about give me a thumbs up, all right? And then also you can follow me on X, where Gonzo719. All right, that's it. We got our plan, okay? We got our plan. Remember, semi's weak, but guess what? Semi's weak sometimes equals semi-strong in the open. People buy those dips, but you have to see it, okay? So everybody have a great weekend. I'm hoping for a great day of volatility. So everybody stay green.